After the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena, it is Sharad Pawar's NCP that is facing an existential crisis in Maharashtra. I'm Barkha, Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. Our focus today continues to be on that big political story in Maharashtra, where depending on your point of view, you either think that Sharad Pawar has played such a masterful hand that he's acting when he says there has been robbery and loot from his party, or you actually believe that the NCP's very existence is now up for grabs. This development, of course, after Ajit Pawar was sworn in as Deputy Chief Minister. Ajit Pawar is, of course, the nephew of Sharad Pawar. We have seen this moment take place once before also, and that didn't last very long. At the moment, Sharad Pawar is saying that he will rebuild his party. His daughter Supriya Sule issued a statement moments ago on social media recommending the disqualification, the expulsion, as it were, of the 9 MLAs that have switched side. But Ajit Pawar is claiming that there are many more with him. What will happen? What is the end game in Maharashtra? Let's introduce our guests on the program today. If we can bring them up now one by one. Tejas Mehta, political commentator and journalist, is with us. Good to see you, Tejas. From the Congress, we're joined by Sujata Paul, spokesperson of the party. We're also joined by Anurag Naidu, political analyst. Good to see you, Anurag. And from the NCP, we're joined by Dr. Asha Mirge, who's a spokesperson of the NCP. I have to say which NCP, but we'll find out when we ask her. And there's Yashwant Deshmukh, who, of course, is a psephologist, political analyst, and the head of C Voter Survey. Asif Bhamla of the BJP should be joining us shortly as well. But let's get started right away. I think, Asha ji, I must start with you. ये क्या हो रहा है? ये एक्टिंग है कि क्या एनसीपी को तोड़ा गया है? नो वन इज रेडी टू बिलीव कि शरद पवार जैसे मास्टरफुल पॉलिटिशियन को मालूम ही नहीं था कि ये होने जा रहा है. What will you say?
I will say कि this was ought to happen. That was, we all were knowing it. This is ought to happen. And the cause is, in Delhi it is said that NICE, that is narcotics, income tax, CBI and ED. You must observe that all those, they left the original party. You were saying, with whom am I? There is no question of with whom. The president, the founder president, the whole and soul is our Honorable Sharad Pawar. So we will be with him. There is no any another chance to be with. And this happened due to NICE or ICE. You must be seen within last 4-5 days. The Honorable PM himself said that the NCP is the national corrupt party. Now my question is, how those corrupt parties, some of the heads, they are now in their government. Either that statement was wrong, or what happened today is wrong.
No, that is okay. नहीं, वो ठीक बात आपकी है कि भाई बीजेपी जो आपके मेंबर्स को करप्ट कहती आई है, वो आज क्यों नहीं करप्ट कह रही. लेकिन वहां पर पहुंचने से पहले मैं आपसे समझना चाहती हूँ. You said you are with Sharad Pawar, but nobody knows who Sharad Pawar is with. मुश्किल तो ये है, आप शरद पवार के साथ है, लेकिन शरद पवार किसके साथ है ये किसी को नहीं मालूम. मैम,
see, since the childhood I learned, and I learned from Sahib also. मेरे को जब भी पूछा जाता है आप किसकी तरफ से, तो मैं मेरी तरफ से, मैं काय को किसकी तरफ से. Our Sahib is also saying that, and twice in these 2 days he said, first in the Mumbai and then in the Karad also, कि he is with the secularism, with the Phule Shahu Ambedkar's line, with the political line which we had since last 24 years, and he has since last 55 years, and we are with MVA. He is with himself.
Okay, so you are saying you're with. Okay, let me actually bring in, before I open this up, let me actually bring in Sujata of the Congress. Sujata Paul, Pranab Mukherjee once told me that the one politician he could never predict was Sharad Pawar. He said, मुझे इतना साल हो गया है पॉलिटिक्स में, लेकिन मैं एक नेता है जिनका मैं नेक्स्ट मूव नहीं प्रिडिक्ट कर सकती, वो है शरद पवार. Does the Congress party believe that Mr. Pawar has really been sabotaged, or do you believe that Mr. Pawar is playing a deep game here?
Mr. Pawar has always been a very deep man, and he is a person who knows his politics very well. But I will only go by what he has been saying, and the Congress party cannot put words that haven't been spelled out by him as and attribute them to him. We believe exactly what he's saying, that he has been sabotaged, he has been betrayed, and that is how it is. And this clearly shows that the BJP is rattled today, and people that they were accusing of being corrupt yesterday, join them today. What kind of politics is that? This shows that the BJP is only trying to build a narrative for the 2024 election, but it's not working because people are seeing through their game. And
but you haven't answered my question.
That's what I'm coming to. If this is like you say, something deeper by Mr. Sharad Pawar, then also I will only say that he's been successful. So both ways he's successful.
All right. I was hoping that Asif Bhamla joins us quickly of the BJP when we'll put some of these questions to him. But in the meantime, let's keep going. Yashwant, you first said yesterday on Twitter, you set the cat among the pigeons and you said, no one, unless you're an ultimate staunch loyalist of the MVA, can really believe कि Sharad Pawar को मालूम नहीं था. But you've seen the NCP Sharad Pawar faction go through the motions. His daughter Supriya Sule has taken to Twitter to say that she's recommending the suspension of the leaders who switched sides, including Praful Patel, one of the most prominent faces of the NCP, somebody who's been, by the way, repeatedly targeted for corruption by the BJP. Do you still think Sharad Pawar is in on this plan?
Well, Barkha, exactly the similar statements were issued when this happened in the round one when Ajit Pawar went and taken oath with Devendra Fadnavis, and then everybody was back, and then they formed the government, and again Ajit Pawar was deputy CM, and again he has gone. So no, I would find it very, very difficult to believe that. Including Praful Patel, Chhagan Bhujbal. I mean, these are the kind of people who are left, right, center with Sharad Pawar. I mean, honestly speaking, if Sharad Pawar ji didn't have any idea and this is really a coup, it is even worse news for the MBA. Good news for the MBA would be that Sharad Pawar still has a play in it. That, something he can do around. But if he has no clue, then it is the worst possible news for the opposition unity and MVA whatsoever. Because if that kind of thing can happen to Sharad Pawar and his hold on a party, then then it's game over in Maharashtra in that way. So please, I refuse to believe that Mr. Pawar doesn't know about all this.
But why does the BJP... Okay, before I come to why the BJP needs this to happen, you are saying Sharad Pawar would have to know. But you heard Dr. Asha of the NCP. She is suggesting कि ये ED, CBI, ये उस सब का कमाल है. This has nothing to do with anything else. Coming to you, Tejas, in a second.
तमाम चीजें होती हैं जो मिलकर के किसी एक डायरेक्शन में काम करती हैं. But as far as I can see, and I have maintained this on many occasions, that right from the 2015 that hung assembly, the offer, unconditional offer of Sharad Pawar ji to the BJP that they will give support, outside support the BJP. From that point onward, I have full kind of analytical mind working in one direction, that Mr. Pawar doesn't need to join the BJP in order to play the game of the BJP. He doesn't need to. So I still maintain that number one, he is pretty much in it, whichever way he is playing it. And if that is happening, it is still a good news for the opposition. And if the opposition leaders feel and think that Mr. Pawar had no idea, then it is really the worst possible news for opposition.
So the best thing the opposition can actually hope is that Sharad Pawar is in on this game. Tejas, Sharad Pawar has played this game once before. Ajit Pawar has been deputy chief minister once before, and that didn't last very long. Do you believe it will last this time around? You have Sanjay Raut of the Thackeray faction of the Sena predicting that Eknath Shinde will not be chief minister for very long. That the whole game plan now is you've hollowed out the Sena, you've hollowed out the NCP, you just get enough numbers. And let me actually play out for you what Sanjay Raut said, and then I'll ask you to comment right after. Listen.
इस बारे में मैंने पहले भी आपको जानकारी दी थी कि ऐसा होने जा रहा है, ऐसा हो सकता है. उसका मतलब ये है, जो मुख्यमंत्री है आज के मिस्टर एकनाथ शिंदे, उनके ऊपर जो डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन की जो तलवार लटक रही है वो जल्दी ही गिरने वाली है। उनके साथ 16 विधायक जो शिवसेना से फुट कर गए थे वो डिस्क्वालीफाई हो जाएंगे और सरकार अनस्टेबल हो जाएगी। उसके लिए ये नया सपोर्ट लिया है। और मैं और एक बात कहता हूं, अभी चंद दिनों में महाराष्ट्र को और एक मुख्यमंत्री मिलेगा।
और सर, इसके बारे में लोगों ने शपथ ली है, वो सेंट्रल एजेंसी के रडार पर है।
अभी आप उस बारे में जनता सोचेगी, जनता बोलेगी कि सरकारें कैसी बनती है महाराष्ट्र जैसे राज्य में और केंद्रीय यंत्रणा का कैसा दुरुपयोग किया जाता है। आज फिर एक बार पूरे देश की जनता ने देखा है। धन्यवाद।
Okay, Tejas, Sanjay Raut believes that there will be a new chief minister, that Eknath Shinde's utility is now already looking at an expiry date. Do you agree? Question one. Question two. You see, it's not clear to me why the BJP needs Ajit Pawar. Because why would those 16 MLAs, whom Sanjay Raut refers to, the Supreme Court, let's remind our audience, the Supreme Court left it to the Speaker of the Assembly to take a decision on 16 MLAs and whether they should be disqualified or not. The conspiracy theory is that because these MLAs could get disqualified, and we have the graphics that show you the numbers, because of that, the BJP needs the buffer. But would the Speaker really go against? Would the Speaker really go against, the BJP? I don't think so. What do you think, Tejas?
Well, Barkha, first of all, ice or nice, there's certainly a lot of spice, and there's so much masala in this entire the cuisine of Maharashtra politics that I think we are missing the woods for the trees. Yes, Eknath Shinde's position, we don't know what's going to really happen because it could go anyways, and they would certainly require the help of a second, third, or third party. But when two parties come, like the NCP and the BJP come together, they're not coming for ideological reasons. If they're coming together, there's some give and take really happening here, and that give and take is, what can you give me? In hard terms, what can I give you? What does the BJP need? The BJP needs to win 2024 in Maharashtra. Out of 48, the 142, they want to hit that score again. That's not possible with Eknath Shinde because he does not have that. He may have the number of MLAs with him now, but he does not have the grassroots level workers with him because they're still with the Thakres. So who does the BJP turn to? The Shiv Sena. Now, the NCP. Now, do you think they're going to make that mistake once again after 2019, where they could not get the NCP? They only got Ajit Pawar. They got a 2-day government. Then they got Mr. Eknath Shinde, where they have got the Shiv Sena, but they don't really have the Shiv Sena vote bank or the Shiv Sena workers. You think they're going to make the same mistake again by getting Ajit Pawar into the party and not have the blessings of Sharad Pawar? You really think that's possible? Yes, Amit Shah may be the Chanakya, but we can't forget that who Mr. Sharad Pawar really is. Let's go back to 12 years ago, and here I blame the Delhi media because Delhi media somehow cannot understand the politics of Maharashtra and Maharashtra politicians. 12 years ago, the Delhi media believed and imagined that they had seen the return of Mahatma Gandhi in the form of Anna Hazare. Well, we all do know what really happened. And once again today, the Delhi media and politicians in Delhi also are believing and thinking that Sharad Pawar is Dhritarashtra, who has been blinded by the love of his children and his party men, that he could not see at all anything as to how what he has built for the last 24 years has been completely uprooted and robbed from him. Well, this is Sharad Pawar. He is India's shrewdest politician. He is not Dhritarashtra. So yes, I'm completely with Deshmukh sir here that this is in the know of Mr. Sharad Pawar, and things will before the.
So why does he have to act this out?
Well, there is a whole history, whole baggage of where you come from. You just can't, everybody can't jump ship like the same way as another politician will do. So he has to take it slowly. I think that is the only reason. And there are other multiple benefits. Well, you have power coming back to them in Maharashtra and in Delhi. And all these cases, as Madam said, the ice is there. Well, those cases will also slow down. They won't be, the heat won't be on them any longer. And lastly, remember, there is Supriya Sule. It's his daughter What about her? What does she have in Maharashtra? Nothing really. So there could be a rehabilitation for her, something in Delhi, a foothold in Delhi. So there are a lot of give and takes happening here, and a lot of things which benefit both parties here.
That's very, very interesting. And I could see Yashwant also smiling along. I want to just play out, Anurag, sorry, I know you've been waiting. I just want to play out what Supriya said. Of course, on one hand, as Tejas said, she's going through the motions. She's recommending the disqualification of those who've switched sides. She's disassociating herself from them. But on the other hand, she also is saying that this won't change her relationship with Ajit Pawar. And it's just very, very, I don't know, confounding to the Delhi media, as Tejas says. Tejas, hang on, let me just play out her clip. Listen.
अगर यू हैव कंप्लीट क्लैरिटी, अगर क्लैरिटी हो आपके मन में, तो ऐसा नहीं, उलझाने नहीं चाहिए रिश्ते. हमारे जो पर्सनल रिश्ते हैं वो एक जगह है, और प्रोफेशनल, और अगर हम अच्छे प्रोफेशनल्स हो तो हम कभी मिक्स नहीं करेंगे. हमारा जो इमोशनल रिश्ता है वो उसकी जगह और जिम्मेदारी उसकी जगह, दोनों मायने रखते हैं और दोनों अपनी जगह सही है. नाराजगी और विचार एक सोच में और नाराजगी में बहुत अंतर होता है. एनसीपी में नाराजगी कभी नहीं. एवरी एमएलए ऑफ एनसीपी इज प्रेशियस टू अस. हम सबको प्यार भी करते हैं और मान और सम्मान करते हैं. अभी हर एमएलए जो एनसीपी का आज है, उसके लिए हमारे मन में प्यार, विश्वास और आदर ही है और रहेगा. उसके बाद कौन क्या करेगा वो आगे देखेंगे. द स्टोरी विल अनफोल्ड इन 2-3 days.
The story will unfold. Before I come to Anurag, yes. Who says this if you're really betrayed? If you're, Asha ji, sorry, but अगर मुझे किसी ने backstab किया होता कि मेरे भाई MLAs उठा के आप ले गए, मेरी पार्टी आपने तोड़ दी, तो कौन इतनी आराम से इतनी प्यार से बात करता है? Yashwant, what did you feel when you heard Supriya?
It's not possible, Barkha. And besides, what in this entire game, the trouble is that the opposition will keep on saying that Pawar has been betrayed, he didn't know, he was in the dark. And I'm like, if at all he was betrayed, if at all it was dark, this is the worst possible news for you, dude. अगर पवार जी इतने ज्यादा मतलब अगर डब्बा गोल हो गया तो आपकी opposition unity, opposition equations, I mean, forget about it. The best thing is that please pray for yourself that this is a game of Mr. Pawar. You still have a door or window opportunity open in Maharashtra in that case.
Okay. Before I come to the Congress and the NCP, Anurag, jump in. Anurag, can you hear me? Jump in. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, no, Barkha, I think it's very clear that Mr. Pawar well knew it. If you even see the pattern, the way Mr. Pawar operates. Last time around when we saw Mr. Ajit Pawar, doing this early morning coup, immediately 7 o'clock in the morning, he just started calling. He was on a firefighting mode and he called up everyone. He didn't meet media, right? 2-3 hours by afternoon, he set everything right and then he came to the media. But this time, you see the timing. Mr. Ajit Pawar does the swearing in. Comfortably, the reporters are told that Mr. Pawar is not in Bombay but in Pune. And the reporters go to his house almost 45 minutes before the press conference starts, well in schedule. He comes in with a good body language and takes the media. With all due respect, but what I also feel is interesting is, Barkha, also look at the narrative. The speech that was given by Mr. Ajit Pawar and also Mr. Patel in all the media channels, because knowing Mr. Patel personally for last 30 years, I can tell you, the narrative they said they never spoke about, they spoke about Mr. Modi and the larger national interest, which before, this day, they were never speaking much of. They were speaking about Maharashtra and Maharashtra interest. Now, suddenly everything turned towards Mr. Modi and Mr. Modi's international cloud. So the signaling is more towards we need to back BJP or an NDA till 2024 election. That's where we can have a stable government. Now, if you see this number, now also, I don't think Mr. Ajit Pawar is not prepared this time because he cannot afford to do a mistake again. And also, Mr. Fadnavis looks very confident. There is something even interesting and very, very big brewing between Mr. Fadnavis, even maybe moving to the center or something might happen. But what I also feel is the numbers have been claimed from both sides. But Mr. Ajit Pawar is more confident on the numbers because, the likes of Chhagan Bhujbal, as somebody said, he's not, he might be a big leader, but he's not a leader who's as strong enough to stand the weight of Mr. Pawar. Mr. Pawar calls him, Mr. Bhujbal, come down to my house. He has to run away. So, he's not as strong. That means Mr. Pawar has also let loose. and letting this loose cannot be something which is, it
Let
has just
me
happened.
let me take that to Asha and Asha ji and to Sujata. But Tejas, brief comment from you. I could see you disagreeing. Mr. Fadnavis will clearly escalate to regional politics in Maharashtra, and I don't think he'll go to Delhi. So I have to disagree with Anurag on that. But my question is, how does the BJP? Let's talk a little bit. I wish Mr. Bhamla was here. I unfortunately hasn't been able to join yet. But how does the BJP justify that, as Asha ji said, the Prime Minister himself was calling the NCP names till a week ago? Or have we agreed that the voter doesn't care? Voter says, "Ye to rajniti hai, ye to badalte rehte hain dal." Nobody's really going to hold the BJP to a lack of consistency. Tejas?
Well, I do believe, I mean, ultimately, this is cynical politics. I mean, this is not something about ideology or, and there is a justification. I mean, already you are seeing BJP handles put out like, a clip from a movie where I think Mithun Chakravarti is there and he's saying that Rajniti mein satta sab kuch hoti hai. And it is not about ideology. So only when you have satta can you really create some change. So I think that is the whole this thing, that until and unless you win the elections, nothing else you can do. So I think somewhere the voter does believe that, but it does to the really ardent BJP voters. They're not at all happy with this, because they are all saying that we have seen our karyakartas of the Sangh, the RSS, the BJP, all very sincere on the ground, and now we are seeing what's really happening here. Yeah, we understand politics, but is this really going too far? Even that's a question staunch BJP workers are really asking.
So let me bring in Asha ji. Asha ji, of course, the Congress is running this campaign of washing powder. You've got Jairam Ramesh. If we take the banner out there, saying कि ये Modi washing powder है, जिसको ये corrupt बोलते थे, अब ये इनके लिए साफ हो गया है. But as Tejas says, this will create more of a problem for local politics. Leaders like Kirit Samaya, for example, of the BJP, who've been regularly targeting and even talking about possible jail for some of your colleagues. But will the voter care? What do you think? वोटर को एंड में फर्क पड़ेगा? बिकॉज उनको तो लगता ही है कि दल बदली तो सभी लोग करते.
No. Voters को जरूर फर्क पड़ेगा. And I will give the example of 1980. When 1980, Sharad Pawar came out of his original party and some 58 MLAs were elected. Within some time, 52, only 6 remained and 52 left him. So this is not happening for the first time in his life. And 52 left, and out of those 52, in the nearby election, only 5 to 6 of them were elected. One thing. Second thing, this BJP, they may think the people are full, but the people are not full. That has been shown by the Maharashtra, this Shikshak Matdar Sangha and teachers constituency and graduate constituency. All those around 4, 3 of them were elected from MVA. One, this Dheeraj Lingade, was given just 15 days before. Still, he was elected from our Nagpur and Amravati, which is very much nearer to Devendra Fadnavis, the main hero of all this, Lotus, Operation Lotus. One thing. Second thing, I would like to give answer of those 2-3 questions. Someone said he is unpredictable and deep. Yeah, he is. He is unpredictable, he is deep, but he is not negative. He is positive for the common janta. One thing. Second thing, someone said it is ice and nice but very spice. Yeah, but I have heard it from you people only, on this media only, कि not only in Maharashtra, but also all over the India, 94% victims of the ED are from opposite party and only 5 to 6% from BJP. Is it possible? No. And last but not the least, what everyone was saying, this is the game of Sahib himself.
Yes.
The future will unfold the story.
You're not saying no. You're not saying no. Even
I am not saying no, because I am saying no. You are not going to hear. I know. Don't give any explanation. Your friends don't need it. Your enemies don't believe it. So let them think whatever they can. We know, because our line is secularism from the starting, and their line is communal rights and hatreds between the religions
No,
from
we'll
start.
see. We'll see. You're right. Let time will tell. Yeah,
Let's time will
Yashwant,
tell.
Yashwant briefly, then Anurag. Yashwant, sorry, Sujata. Right after that. Yashwant, Sujata, and then Anurag. Yeah, yeah.
I
Yashwant.
just wondering where was that line on definition of secularism when NCP offered the unconditional support to the BJP after the hung assembly 5 years. I mean, in
Shall I?
2015.
Shall I? Shall
You
I?
know, so that is
In
my
those,
one question. Okay, I mean, and that was my unconditional support. Whatever the reason may be, I'm not going there. But if you are talking about ideology, if you are talking about the line, number one. Number two, Barkha, whatever said and done, BJP importing people and getting into problem. We have seen in Karnataka, we are seeing in Madhya Pradesh, the same will happen
Yeah.
in Maharashtra as well. But I don't really believe this betrayal system and all that, because the first betrayal of the mandate happened when BJP-Shiv Sena contested together, got a clean majority, and yet Shiv Sena went ahead with NCP and Congress. That was the first betrayal. So that is why people of the Maharashtra are not going to buy this betrayal bullshit. But
I think
yes,
that's a very good
what they
point.
will buy is that all imports, the problem of the imports within the BJP network, BJP's rank and file, that they are going to face. That is why.
That's a very good point, and I'll take it to Sujata, that because the MVA itself, right, the alliance in Maharashtra itself was so unnatural from an ideological point of view, no one is going to really judge another flip-flop. But even with people like Praful Patel, if today you turn around and say, look, BJP, you targeted this person, you targeted him, especially when he was aviation minister in the UPA2 government, you have been targeting him continuously, the PM has targeted this party, are you going to concede that the corruption allegations are genuine? Because then you'll have to say that you were willing to tolerate that corruption. You see, it's a catch-22. For both of you, it's a catch-22.
Not at all for the opposition, because when you want to believe that it is the BJP which is going to, which is strong, then you will believe that. But let me make it very clear that narratives which are created for the people. For the people who vote. So the electorate, what the electorate believes is going to be much more powerful compared to what you, I, and all the other panelists sitting here want to believe. So, Mr. Deshmukh was talking about, opposition unity is going to be hurt. Are the people of Maharashtra going to be hurt by what has happened? That is more important. This is an emotional country. Don't forget how Mr. Modi has been using this time and time again. And another thing, when you talk about the accusations, is the BJP going to be able to target NCP again? There's a question there. Are they going to be able to target Mr. Ajit Pawar? And one must also remember that the BJP, ever since Mr. Modi has come into power, has been relegated. Really, it is the BJP of Mr. Modi and Amit Shah which is ruling at the moment, and that is why you pick up people, make them chief ministers, and then throw them out. You can throw the entire cabinet out like you did in Gujarat, and that is exactly what is happening to Mr. Devendra Fadnavis. I feel extremely sorry for him, and like Mr. JP Nadda had said, listen to what I'm saying. Mr. JP Nadda, remember, had said that they're going to wipe out all the regional parties. Isn't that what is going to happen to Mr. Eknath Shinde? He broke away from from Shiv Sena.
I think it's important. I think there are 2 points here. How will the voters react, but also how does a BJP worker? And I want to just put this question to Anurag, Tejas, and Yashwant for 2 minutes. Let's have a serious discussion. The Prime Minister has targeted the NCP days ago, not 1 month ago, not 1 year ago, but a few days ago, right? Praful Patel has been one of the people who, Chhagan Bhujbal, Praful Patel, these have been regularly in the line of attack from the BJP. BJP leaders, state leaders like Kirit Somaiya have repeatedly gone, sort of done press conferences focusing on the corruption of some of these leaders. Only recently, the Enforcement Directorate, in fact, attached certain assets to Praful Patel, right? So, if we speak seriously, how does the BJP begin to justify this, Anurag?
Let me clear at the outset, Barkha, and I'll tell you some very interesting facts. Let's stop calling names here. At the outset, you can verify with your research team, Barkha, the property that has been attached by the ED are not owned by Mr. Patel. I categorically say it has been the title and the ownership lies with somebody else. I don't want to name. And he was called in for an investigation to ask some question for which he has cooperated. If he had to do a backstabbing, he could have joined BJP 9 years, 10 years back. And there were 12 hours of ED, of the CBI grilling. I still remember that was the day my grandfather passed away. And he called up and he was there in the ED CBI investigation for about 12 hours on that day, and he cooperated that. He came out and people are saying he'll move. He has not moved. 9 years, and every party, including BJP, Barkha, you know it very well. He has extremely good relationship with Mr. Modi. Even when Mr. Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he had extremely good relationship.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. He has good relations.
And also Barkha,
I'm just saying. Look at this. Look at these are old headlines of the BJP targeting Praful Patel for IPL, for Air India, for so many issues, right? There was. I mean, look at Prakash Javadekar, Praful Patel ruined Air India.
I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
I'm coming to that. Making accusations, casting aspersions are common in politics. Tell me one thing that has been proven. 9 years BJP is there in power. Tell me one instance when they have proven Mr. Patel guilty of any of this accusation. So it is okay. He smiles and moves on. But the point I'm trying to make, Barkha, is why do we need to say backstabbing? Has he joined BJP? Or why do we need to say there is a new trend in Indian, political system that nobody's untouchable? Why should we not say it's an amicable separation? What makes you think only backstabbing? Backstabbing can only happen when these people go and join BJP. They have not joined. They have only obliged to the majority request coming from the party leaders of NCP. And Mr. Ajit Pawar is categorically saying that I have majority of the MLAs requesting me, ki, Sahib, we need to go here. And it's just a matter of a day. Barkha, if Mr. Ajit Pawar does not get 36 MLAs, he's anyways going to get disqualified. All of them bunch is going to get disqualified. And do you think Mr. Amit Shah or Devendra Fadnavis will make this mistake of taking the slap on the face when they are not sure about the strategy and the numbers?
Okay. Let me put the same question though to Tejas and Yashwant. I agree with Anurag on the backstabbing. I think nobody looks out for that kind of puritanical loyalty anymore in politics. I don't even think the voter is too jaded to look for that. But the corruption charges, Chhagan Bhujbal was actually, please correct me if I'm wrong, he was arrested in 2016 in a money laundering investigation, right? Mr. Bhujbal has actually gone to jail. The ED is investigating Hassan Mushrif. Praful Patel, Anurag can argue that it wasn't his assets, but I mean, there have been entire, ministers of the BJP who have trained their guns on Praful Patel. So, Tejas, is the BJP going to be able to justify this?
Well, very, very difficult. I mean, I remember those visuals the first time we saw Mr. Chhagan Bhujbal, who had gone in to, I think it was the Yerwada jail, if I'm not mistaken, or a jail in Nashik, I can't recall, but he went with a black beard, and we saw the first visuals of him, what we are seeing now, in a white beard. And it had taken a huge toll on him and his entire family and the NCP. So these are serious allegations. Anil Deshmukh, the Home Minister, was arrested just the last year. So when the Prime Minister says, you see, the allegations coming from any normal politician, spokespersons on TV channels, all that is fine. But it coming from the Prime Minister, I think it carries far more weight and seriousness, and therefore you cannot equate it with just say, for example, Jyotiraditya Scindia or RPN.
So why did they do it? So why did they do it? Why does the BJP need to do this?
I think it was putting more pressure. I think these are pressure tactics being put on the NCP. I think things were not what all that plan was not entirely into motion by then, and that could have set the ball rolling. Because let's not forget, Ajit Pawar was also in Delhi just a few days ago when Mr. Eknath Shinde had gone to meet the Home Minister. So there have been a lot of meetings happening. So they,
okay.
I mean,
yeah,
we don't know what is happening behind those locked doors.
I'm out of time, so let me give Yashwant the last word. Yashwant, you said the importing of other leaders into the BJP is not a strategy that is necessarily working for the BJP. You've seen that with Jyotiraditya Scindia and the assembly elections, which we were doing a program on earlier with your opinion poll. This importing of a Chhagan Bhujbal, a Praful Patel, and others, yes, it hollows out whether or not Sharad Pawar is in on the plan. Let's park that for a moment. It certainly hollows out the opposition. It's a jhatka to the opposition. So the BJP gains in that way. But does the BJP need this to give a jhatka to the opposition? Last thoughts to you. Where do you see this, the end game of this?
Well, as an endgame, I think all this is for a very short-term gain for the BJP, but they are losing out something bigger in doing this, which they are probably not realizing at this point of time. Core support base of the BJP is not just Hindutva Barkha. There are many people out there who have kind of emotional connect with the old BJP, old Jansangh and that kind of thing, which included a very clean government, anti-corruption emotion attached to that party with a difference, as they used to call it. I think in achieving very short-term gains, probably they are not looking at these long-term losses that eventually that is going to come their way. Their support base, which was an emotional lot, might get restricted to a voting population, which is voting for them purely out of anti-Congressism or anti-minoritism or whichever way in something. But that kind of emotional connect in the long term, they would lose. I mean, I have no hesitation in saying that. A lot many people on social media, while in this polarized atmosphere, IT cell driven and otherwise, they are celebrating it. But I can also read very, very silent pieces by not so vocal people and BJP supporters who are kind of questioning this and who are kind of saying that, they might vote for Modi in 24, but this is not the BJP which it used to be. They are conceding that point. That party with that difference kind of halo is already gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to close. Tejas, you wanted to jump in with a line? Tejas?
Because this is, I think this is only happening because it's Maharashtra. 48 seats are way too much for the BJP to let go. And if that wasn't the case, perhaps a smaller state, I don't think this would have happened. And of course, the way politics in Maharashtra have turned upside down in the last 2-3 years, I think they had very little option.
I think people have literally lost track, by the way, of who is which party. That is the point. And therefore, I think the BJP is also counting on the fact that the flip-flops have been so multiple and so confusing. But I think the flip-flop is less of an issue. And as Yashwant says, somebody where your local workers have spent, your local legislators, Tejas, have spent literally months targeting and saying this is a corrupt person, and then you take that person into your party. I mean, I think that's something really to think about, whether it will help them or hurt them. We leave it there. As Dr. Asha Merge very honestly said, was Sahib in on the plan? Only time will tell. That question mark hangs over this story. Sujata, Yashwant, Tejas, and Asha ji, thank you. And to Anurag, thank you as well. And to our audience, see you soon. Thanks for watching. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.